What's up, everybody? This is the Gridiron Gilly Show. I'm the host, Gridiron Gilly. Special guest with me tonight, Coach Ratliff with the Corrigan Camden Bulldogs. Coach, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm great. I'm blessed to be here. Just had a great practice. Just got off the practice field and looking forward to this little podcast interview. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I reached out to a lot of head coaches, and I haven't really got a lot of emails back, I guess you could say.
Right.
One coach told me that it showed up as spam, so that's probably why I haven't got a lot of responses. Because I was like, well, heck, coaches like talking about football, so I should get. If I email 50 coaches, I should get 50 responses. Usually, what I do, I just ask coaches to talk about themselves, their history, what got them into coaching, where all they've coached at, and then talk about your players. So, if you want to go ahead and get started on that, you have the floor.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, my name is Brett Ratliff. I've been in education, been in coaching for this is my 20th year now. I'm from Corrigan, Camden ISD. I'm a 1999 graduate. I went to Auburn University, and I graduated from Auburn University in 2006. From there, I came back home to Texas because, man, coaching's in my blood. And if I'm going to coach, I'm going to coach in the best state to do it in, and I believe that's Texas. I went to a 6A program in the Woodlands College Park High School. I was there for 4 years. And after those 4 years, for the next two, I was the offensive coordinator at the 5A Conroe Caney Creek High School, still right there in Conroe ISD. I did that for 2 years, and then I've been an athletic director pretty much ever since. For my next 4 years, I was athletic director at New Diana in Northeast Texas, just right north of Longview. Then I went over to Navasota for 1 year, right by College Station, 4A program over there, as assistant head coach and offensive coordinator, recruiting coordinator. And then I traveled on to Hondo ISD, right outside of San Antonio. Love the area, man. And we were there for 3 years in Hondo ISD, and it was an amazing place. And I saw myself it was a big 4A, it was a good 4A program there. I enjoyed being there, and I enjoyed the atmosphere and all the hunting that I could do there too. It was great for my family, and I never saw leaving there, man. I thought I was going to probably make my career there, and then home calls, and it's one of those situations to where you never think, or I never thought that I was going to go back home. But the opportunity presented itself. My family is still here. And, man, I just could not pass it up. And it's been a dream come true since I've been here. I've been back here for 6 years. And it's been amazing for myself, for my family. I think the community's really enjoyed what we've done, from a whole athletic program perspective, but also a football perspective. And like I say, I'm blessed to be back home.
Yes, sir. I watched some interview that you did. I think it was your superintendent about a month ago. I watched that earlier when I was just trying to figure out some things about you. The Bulldog Bite or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
But I saw that you're an Auburn guy. I cover college football and NFL too, a little bit on the side. I've been doing that for about 3 years now, but I've had a bunch of friends reach out and tell me to do high school football. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. But I had a lot of bad things to say about Auburn going into the year, and they proved me wrong week one at Baylor. So kudos to them. I ate crow that night.
Hey, I will tell you what, man, it's one of those, my son's a senior this year, and we've always traveled around and got to watch some pretty cool college football games as he's grown up. And one of his best friends here, he's a Baylor guy, man. He loves Baylor. And as soon as I found out Auburn was coming to Baylor, I talked to some guys, had tickets all lined up, and it was going to be awesome. Then I turn around and find out that they're playing on a Friday. Well, I can't do that. We have work. So we had to find out about the game after the fact, but we took a big win in week one. We played Tarkington and won 33-0, and then Auburn took a big win. So it was a great weekend for me.
Yeah. I looked at your schedule. First of all, your district last year, it was you got 2A Division I, Region 3, District 12.
Correct.
Centerville won it last year. Hearn second, Corrigan third, Jewett-Leon 4, and then you had Normandy and Groveton. This year, the experts, as I like to call them, have Centerville picked first, Corrigan second, so y'all move up a spot, and then Hearn, Jewett-Leon, Groveton, and Normandy. So you and Hearn swap spots, and then Groveton and Normandy swap spots.
Yes.
But I've also seen that for the last few years that y'all have been in that same district, so you're pretty familiar with these teams. This week you're playing Kirbyville, so that's a non-district game. But let's talk about Kirbyville first, Coach. What do you see from them?
Man, they are big and athletic. There's no doubt about that. Seth Hubbard, he got there to Kirbyville. This will be his second year, and he's brought a pretty impressive little spread package with them. He was at Dangerfield for a while, and they throw the ball around up there pretty well. And so they're gonna throw the ball around well. They have a quarterback that is a good sized boy that he can run it to, and they're gonna be physical. They're a big 3A program, and we pride ourselves here at Corrigan about playing a very tough non-district schedule. We started out with a 4A. We played a big 3A last week, playing a big 3A this week, and they're gonna suit out 40 kids to our 25, and that's something that we know we need if we're gonna make a push for the district title. The past 3 years in a row, we've played for the district title, and we've just come up short. And last year we played for it, and it was either we were gonna win the district title or we were gonna be in third place. So we didn't get the job done when it all came down to it. But if we want to push past that plateau and we want to win a district title, we have to play a tough non-district schedule, and I believe that we do that.
Okay, and you said Tarkington, they're 4A?
Tarkington's a 4A program, yes, sir.
Okay, I've never even heard of Tarkington or Hardin, so I don't know anything about those two programs. I don't even know where those places are at. I know where Kirbyville is, but who's won your district the last few years? Centerville?
It has been Centerville. Centerville's been a perennial power in the district. We were 9-0 in 2022 going against them, and man, we just didn't play our best game, and we ended up dropping that one to them, and I felt we were really poised to win the district title that year. So this year we definitely want to have a chance to get back in that hunt.
Okay, well, geez, man, I have a whole list of things to talk about, but what about your kids? What about your program? Like, I guess talk about your kids or your team or whatever, and then your scheme. Like you said, Kirbyville came out in that spread package. What is your bread and butter? What do you bring? What is Corrigan going to come out with?
I'm a pro-I guy. I'm a pro-style football coach. What I consider myself is basically a counterpuncher. I'm going to line up in multiple formations, basing everything out of the pro-I and run a pro-style system. I'm just going to see what you line up and do, and I can do it, the opposite. I run a heavy option game with a lot of mixed-in power, and then I will jump in the gun and run trips and doubles occasionally to do that, but I'll still run the same power and spread and power and option game out of that. And then on defense, we're a 4-3.
4-3, okay. So that's your bread and butter. That's your wheelhouse. That's what you like to do.
That's what I like to do. I like line up in pro, and we like to run ISO and counter and power, and then run the veer.
Who do y'all play next after Kirbyville?
We play Elkhart.
Okay, Elkhart. I've already interviewed their coach. He's a pretty good dude. And then do y'all start district after that?
No, then we go play Joaquin.
Joaquin. Oh yeah, true. I'm from Joaquin, so yeah, I knew that. But y'all play them at Corrigan though, right?
We do. They come to our place this year.
Is that homecoming?
No, it's not.
Have you already had homecoming?
No, we typically have it towards the middle of October when it's a little cooler weather, and it's a big deal here. We try to tie in our senior night with our homecoming every year to make it a much bigger event.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, like I don't know nothing about any of these teams. I know Groveton. I played them before. We played them in high school. I never played Corrigan, but I've seen, like I said, I'm from Joaquin, so I've seen Corrigan and Joaquin mix it up a few times.
Yeah.
And then Centerville, Joaquin played them in the playoffs last year, I think the first round. But that's all I know. Like, I don't even know where Jewett Leon is. I think we played them in the playoffs.
Normandy, Leon, and Centerville are all within about 15 to 20 miles of each other. They're all right in that spot, which is west of Crockett.
Okay. I think we did play Leon in the playoffs a few years ago in Jacksonville. I'm pretty sure it was some team. They weren't very good, but that's neither here nor there. So what about your guys? Like, do you have any guys you want to mention? Maybe a kicker, punter,
Yeah.
quarterback,
Oh,
whoever.
absolutely, absolutely. I have a lot of great players, man. But I'll say this: we build a team atmosphere here. We are is our motto. We are Bulldog Nation. So we have a we are mentality. There's nothing that we do alone. We do everything together, and anything that comes our way individually is because of a group effort. But if you look at the perennial players on our team right now, we have a junior football player. He's our tailback. His name's Derek Reggie. He's a special athlete. He was a 1,700-yard rusher as a sophomore last year. He's about 6'1", about 195, 4'4" kid. And he's special. Quarterback special. He reads the defense well. He's got great legs. He rushed for 202 yards in our opening game against Tarkington. He does a great job for us. He's been all-state safety before, so he starts both ways. But he's special. His name's Will Ratliff. We have great linebackers, man. Caden Burks, he's a stud middle linebacker for us. A great left tackle in Cody Johnson and a great right guard in Roman Ramirez. They do an amazing job. And we also have what I think is another collegiate player. His name's Taj Thomas. He's our tight end linebacker, and he's pretty special too.
Okay. Well, you mentioned something a while ago, and that's something that a lot of coaches say it, but then a lot of coaches don't do it, and that is if you want to prepare for a tough district, you got to have a tough non-district schedule. You said you do have a tough non. I hear a lot of coaches say that though, and then they'll come out and they'll schedule not tough opponents.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Tarkington, Hardin. Like I said, I don't know nothing about those guys, but they're 4A and 3A, so they're obviously, I guess, more depth. Whether they're tougher or not, you beat one, you lost to one. So
That's right.
yeah, you traded with them, but you got Kirbyville this week, and you said they're 3A, correct?
Yeah.
Kirbyville, I think they've got 2 losses on the year.
They do,
So,
and they've dropped 2 tough games. I think
yeah,
Shepherd is solid this year. Certain years they're up and down. Coach Robinson does an amazing job over there getting those kids ready, but they have some pretty special kids this year. And then Bridge City has a Mike linebacker that is 5-star, and so they're impressive, and that's who Kirbyville's lost to. So they've played 2 really quality opponents, and they have scored some points against those quality opponents. So I think they're going to give us a good test. And also, as a coach, you like to play teams in non-district that have multiple styles. We played a flex bone team in week 1 that tries to run a lot of option, a lot of power toss with out of the flex bone, and then we played a double wing team this week. This real heavy run power, big kids across the board, really impressive. And then this week we're going to play a true spread, love to throw it around, run the quarterback. So we've got to mix it up. And Joaquin, we're going to see a team that runs the football. And if we don't see all those different kinds of offenses before district starts, I feel we put ourselves in a difficult situation to be successful.
You're trying to prepare yourself as best possible for this district. Dang, I mean, we've already ran through everything in 13 minutes. Usually it takes a lot longer than that. But now we'll get down to the good part, the questions, because we just talked about the program for a while. I guess we can talk about Auburn if we want to, but I don't really want to because they done hurt my feelings week 1 after they beat up on Baylor like that. I didn't expect that, like I already mentioned. But I know that you're an offensive guy. I heard you mention that on the Bulldog Bite. I heard you mention that you're the offensive coordinator for the program. I guess that's your bread and butter, the offensive side of the ball. That's what you like to do, and that's what you're most comfortable with. So the question I ask every coach, I'll ask you, but I feel like I know the answer to it. Would you rather win a game 6-0 or 56-52?
Oh, I'd rather win a game 6-0.
6-0. I figured 56-52 just because of all the points you'd score on offense.
No, absolutely not. I am an offensive coach with a defensive mentality. Okay. Let's just put it that way. I love violent, physical football games, and sometimes that lends itself to being lower scoring, and it creates a little bit more difficulty. But I've always said that if my defense is better than my offense, I'm going to win more games than I lose, because I know they're going to stop. If my defense is really good, we're going to stop them and hold them to very little points, and I will find ways to score more. But if you're asking me at times to sometimes, man, you just got to go out there and you got to score 50, 56 points to win, because we're going to give up 48. That's harder to me than finding a way to score 6 points. As long as my defense will do that job.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I watched a game years ago, probably 9-10 years ago. It was a high school football game.
Huh?
At half, it was 6-0. Two very great teams. District championship game. Okay, I'm not going to name the teams, but 6-0 at the half. I was like, man, this team was supposed to win by 40 points, and here they are winning 6-0. So this other team still got a chance. Well, then it's one of those things, man, where you like, as good as these teams are, you can come back from a 6-0 deficit, but once you get that 12-0 deficit, it's a little bit harder. So that team, when they came back out the second half and they punched it in again and came up 12-0, yeah, they pretty much, the team they played that night laid down, I feel like, and the final score to that game was like 48-0. So I see what you're saying about you would rather win a game 6-0 because of the defense. And if you have to score 50-something points every night to win, it's going to be a long night.
That's exactly right. And I think offense is a lot of fun. And I always talk about, when we go out there Friday night, it's our job to put on a show, man. I want our kids to go out there and I want them to have a blast, and I want the fans to have a great time. And obviously, when you have great offensive football, you get to put on a fun show. But sometimes, man, I like to, what I call, put my foot in the tire and just box, and I think that we try to pride ourselves here in Corrigan, Camden. We like to put our foot in the tire and we like to go at it, and so that's going to lend itself sometimes to having a better defensive football team, and that's okay.
Next question. Would you rather win a game by a game-winning touchdown or a goal line stand?
Ooh. As crazy as that sounds, I would rather win a football game by a game-winning touchdown. I would.
Okay.
It's one of those. I love to win a game 6-0, but I'd almost rather have the ball in my hands with it being 0-0, trying to score that touchdown to win 6-0, or to kick that field goal at the end. If we're up 3-0 to ice it, making it 6-0. I like to put that kind of pressure on myself. I love, my defensive coordinator and I, we've been coaching together for 10 years now. We were together at Navasota, and then when I got the head job at Hondo, Coach Villarreal, my defensive coordinator, he came with me. He was a DC there for me at Hondo. And then now he's here with me in East Texas. And amazing coach, man. And he would probably tell you, I want to do a goal line stand. Well, I want to put the ball in my hands in order to win the ball game at the end.
So he didn't get with you until Navasota, you said?
Until Navasota, yeah. We met at Navasota.
Before, you was at New Diana beforehand?
I was.
Okay. I'm supposed to interview their head coach in the morning.
Okay, Coach Lane.
Yes, sir.
He's a good dude. Great guy.
I'm supposed to interview him in the morning, and then I've got Mount Vernon's head coach, McLean. I've got him tomorrow night. But, okay, I usually ask those questions. Next question, you a college or NFL guy? I feel like I know the answer to that, but go ahead.
I am a college guy. There's no doubt about that. I loved my time at Auburn University. It was one of the greatest times of my life. I always tell my wife all the time, when our kids are grown and graduated from college and they're adults and we eventually decide to retire, I would love to move back to Auburn, Alabama, and just go watch every collegiate sport that I can. So.
Sounds like me, except not Auburn.
I understand.
Man, I really don't have a favorite team, to be honest with you. I was a Miami Hurricane fan for a really long time, since the time I was probably 11 or 12 when I got into football, like really intense.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my favorite team. They weren't very good. They were about 500 every year. But that was my team. That was the guys I rocked with.
Well, I'll
And
tell you, we had a great football player from Corrigan, Camden, play tight end for the U, Chase Ford. Then he went on to be an NFL player. So
yeah, he was with the Vikings, right, for a little bit.
He was with the Vikings, yes, sir. So he done some amazing things. He's a Corrigan, Camden boy. We love Chase.
I forgot about that, but once you said that name, I remembered. Yeah, so I was a Miami Hurricane for a long time. I've seen them play twice in person, both at the Independence Bowl in Shreveport, and both times they took a L. They lost to South Carolina, and they lost to
That was the coldest, rainiest football game you can ever imagine. I was
in high school, so my dad took me and a few friends to it, and he sat like down there by the cassette stands watching it on the TV because it was raining and it was cold. But we got there like 2 hours beforehand just to get on the field and like touch hands and stuff like that with the players. But then in 19, right before COVID happened, of course, they played Louisiana Tech there and got goose egged 14-0.
Wow.
And that was probably one of the most embarrassing times in my life. Like I was like, this can't be real, you know? So, which I can't remember if whenever they hired Mark Richt or Manny Diaz as the head coach. I forgot what time it was, but there was a time when they were going to hire Mario Cristobal, like they was going to interview him, and he was a potential candidate for head coach. And I wanted that guy because I liked I just thought he was a good fit for the program. Well, that didn't work out. He went to Oregon, but now he's there, and he's doing pretty good since he's been there.
Doing pretty well. He is.
But like 2 years ago, I was like, dude, I've had it with these guys. I can't do it no more. They just make my blood boil. They upset me every single year. So I said, I got to give up on them. I got to find me a new team. And I was like, I'm just going to follow LSU. I feel like that's a good team. And I really don't even like LSU that much. I got their flag on my wall. But I also got this SMU flag, and I also got a Texas A&M flag.
Man, so I like the Stone Cold poster the best, man. That's I'm a big WWE guy too. I'll say that.
Yeah, well, that's the only one I was like, I can't just have football, man. I got to have something else. And I was like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he embodies attitude. So
that's right.
I've also got his IPAs sitting over there. My wife told me I had to take them. I had his IPA beers sitting right here on this table, but my wife was like, you got to take those out of the frame whenever you interview these high school coaches. And I was like, okay, whatever you say, ma'am. Yeah. So anyways, Miami, they're doing good this year. They done good last year. Great quarterback. I'm a Titans fan, so we have Miami's quarterback that was a Heisman candidate last year. And they looked the Tennessee Titans. They looked terrible yesterday. They had they forced 4 turnovers and still lost the game and didn't score a single touchdown. So it's going to be another long year until we get some help on the offense. I can ramble for hours about how depressed I've been watching college football and NFL for a long time.
And it'll bounce back, man. It always does. It'll bounce back.
It all started in 2022 whenever they traded A.J. Brown, and then ever since then it's went downhill. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, they traded him on draft night, and I was like, what are you doing? And everyone thought Henry was washed up because his production went down. And I'm like, his production went down because you just traded the best receiver in the league to another team.
Look at him now.
Yeah.
The performance he had last night was pretty impressive until the fumble that happened.
Yeah, I'm about to go, whenever we finish up here, I'm going to watch the Bears. The Bears and Vikings are playing right now. I got to hit you with a scenario.
Okay.
Well, I'll hit you with the movie. Best football movie of all time.
Best football movie of all time. Man, I'll tell you what, that's difficult. I'm going to have to say We Are Marshall.
I said that one the other day. I just randomly thought of it, and I think Coach Taylor at Jefferson, I interviewed him, and I was like, I forget about that one, but that's a good one too.
We Are Marshall. I love that one. Now, if I'm looking for a comedic, funny one, I'd have to say The Replacements was pretty good.
Exactly. Yeah, I just always say Friday Night Lights, and people usually always say Remember the Titans. So I had to dig deep, and I was like, We Are Marshall. That's a good one that no one really thinks of. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the scenario.
Okay.
I just ask random coaches random scenarios and see how they respond. I haven't asked a scenario even close to this yet, so we'll see how it goes. Okay. Corrigan Camden. They are playing, I don't know, I'm going to say Joaquin just
Okay.
because. So we'll say you're playing Joaquin because I know a little bit about Joaquin's offense. It's halftime right now in Corrigan. What is it, Bulldog Stadium?
Yep, Bulldog Stadium.
In Bulldog Stadium, y'all's heads are held high because y'all are going in at half 26-0 right now against Joaquin. You come out the second half though, and at the end of the third quarter, the score is 26-20.
Okay.
So something done changed with Joaquin's offense in the third quarter.
Right.
That they started punching it in. Well, let's say you've been stopping the I guess it's the slot T. You've been yeah, because whenever I was there, we ran the double wing.
Gotcha. Yep.
I get confused about it now. I get
For
confused.
Coach Gandy.
Yep. I get confused watching them now. Like they trick me. They trick me. I know they trick everybody else because they trick me. But anyways, it's 26-20 into the third quarter. Now you're going into the fourth quarter. And they've just been running these sweeps, okay? And I've seen them do it before. So they'll send a guy in motion, hand off, he'll run a sweep outside. And that's what's been killing you in the third quarter is these sweeps. Maybe someone's getting a chip on an end or something, but they're just beating you to the edge and scoring. And they do have a guy that's his bread and butter, so to speak. So how do you stop that? How do you come out the fourth quarter and win that game and bring the victory home for Corrigan?
Obviously you're stacking a lot of guys in the box anyway because they primarily run the football. They're going to play action pass, when needed, but they don't make their money on throwing the football. And obviously if they're killing us with the outside sweep, basically the hand sweep off of a motion, what I would do is I would have I typically have two high safeties on our 4-3. I would basically have my safeties key the inside basically slots that go in those motions. And when they'd motion, I'd trigger him to the opposite side immediately to try to send that extra pressure there. Okay. But I would send the play side safety and I'd roll the backside safety to the middle just in case they did play action pass off of it. So that's what I would try to do is I would try to send that extra immediate pressure with our safety triggering off of that. Because I wouldn't want to move my two inside backers because I probably already have one of my three linebackers apexed out a little bit to help stop it. So if he turned it in, my safety'd run into it in the funnel. But I don't want to move my other two linebackers out of the box because they still like to run the ball inside enough. And I'm always one of those guys. I'm not a what if guy, but I'm going to cover my bases. So my safety, he's a pretty good runner and he's a pretty good striker. So I would put him, and we would just kind of roll our coverage.
Like you said, they don't make their money off the pass. I remember it was before you got to Corrigan, when Joaquin played Corrigan before. But I mean, all I know about Corrigan is, to me, I mean, in my opinion, they've always been pretty good and pretty consistent. Ever since I've kept up with Corrigan for probably 10, 15 years, they've been a pretty consistent program as far as the football aspect goes. But I remember watching them play. I think it was the first year they played at Joaquin, and I don't remember what the final score was. I think it was like 16-0. But neither team could do anything. Like both defenses were really good, and Joaquin, the 2 touchdowns they got where they would throw a play action pass, get tackled at the 1 yard line, and then just run it in with a fullback. But that was it. And then poor Corrigan that night. Field position was their problem. They would punt it, and it might go to the 50. Joaquin would punt it, and it'd go to the 15 or 10 on the other side of the field.
Right.
So, I mean, really, that game could have been either way. Thankfully, Joaquin could throw the football back then because otherwise we'd have went to overtime 0-0.
Right. Absolutely. So, yeah, I definitely, we'll see them here pretty soon. I'm excited about seeing those guys. I know how talented they were last year, and I know that they're excited to try to do the same things again. So.
And you play Kirbyville, and then one more game, and then Joaquin, right?
Yep. Kirbyville, Elkhart, then Joaquin.
Okay, yeah, Kirbyville, Elkhart, Joaquin. Yeah, I interviewed Coach Blackman. He's a pretty good dude.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
But last question, and I said I was going to ask every coach this. I missed on the last 2 coaches I interviewed.
Okay.
But if I decide to make the trek down there to Corrigan and watch any game, but probably with the Joaquin and Corrigan game.
Yeah.
Is that a Friday night?
It is.
Okay, because they're playing on Thursday night, the first 3 games of the season, Joaquin is. But if I decide to make the trek down there, it's probably an hour and a half from where I live at. But I'll probably get hungry along the way, Coach. So other than Sonic, what is there in Corrigan to eat?
Oh man, if you're going to eat in Corrigan, from an old school standpoint, Texas Burger is always a great one, man. Texas Burger is a good old fashioned fast food joint. We love Texas Burger around here. If you're looking, there's a great Mexican food place here called Gabby's. It's really good. I would recommend that place. And if you're looking, there's a place that just opened called Fish Tales, and it has amazing seafood. So there's some places to eat in Corrigan, Texas, buddy. Let me tell you.
Well, that would sound like a variety right there for a little
Yeah,
small town.
absolutely.
We don't have that kind of variety in Joaquin. Well, Coach, that's it. That's all I got. I think we went 30 minutes, so that's right on the money. I hope you guys stay healthy. I hope you have a great year. Hopefully, y'all. Honestly, I hope y'all get that monkey off your back and get first in district, knock Centerville out. That'd be nice.
That's the plan, Connor. That's really the plan, and I appreciate you having me, man. I enjoy this. I enjoy this kind of stuff. So thanks a lot for having me.
Yes, sir. Good luck to y'all, and have a good, safe night. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy.